Hello, it's 10 p.m. in Accra, 11 p.m. in Abuja, Nigeria, and 5 p.m. in Tallahassee, Florida, USA. This is News at 10. It's coming to you live. My news up here at Adesawe in Kanda. My name is Alfred Nancy. We begin with the highlights of the day's top stories. The news is also live on 3FM 92.7. We're also live all across the world on Facebook, TV3 Ghana, also streaming live on 3news.com. Now, the autopsy report of the late Member of Parliament for the Boako North constituency, J.B. Danko Adu, has finally been presented to the court after several months of delay. The pathologist, Dr. Lawrence Eduse, however, did not appear in court, defying the summons handed him on February 9. And only 23 lawyers are offering legal aid to Ghana's population of over 28 million people. This was captured in the 2017-2018 annual amnesty report, which also indicated 34% of girls in the 3 regions of the north are giving out in marriage before age 18. And to some good news, radio and television gets results as Onia FM and 3FM installed 27 lights on the stretch of road in front of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, GIJ. The installation forms part of efforts to end frequent attacks at the hands of armed thieves who snatch phones and other personal valuables from pedestrians and especially students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism. And also in business tonight, a country director of the International Growth Center, Dr. Nii Kweku-Sowa, has rejected as worthless the calls that the central bank should scrap the inflation targeting approach the bank is using to achieve price stability. He indicated the inflation target approach takes into consideration several economic indicators such as inflation and employment gaps. And on the international front, the head of the most powerful gun lobby in the United States has blamed Democrats and the media for exploiting a school shooting that left 17 people dead. Wayne LaPierre said opportunists are using the 14 February tragedy to expand gun control and abolish U.S. gun rights in the United States. Mr. LaPierre's comments came during the Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington. He also echoed President Donald Trump's call to arm teachers who are trained to carry concealed weapons. It's live your news at 10 here on TV3. Also live on 3FM 92.7 if you're listening to us on your radio tonight. Let's go for the big one. To a big one tonight. TV3 News has reports that suggest the Anchorful Psychiatric Hospital is without a doctor after the hospital's medical director, Dr. Eugene Dodoi, was asked to proceed on leave. We also have picked information that one of the patients at the hospital died yesterday because there was no doctor at the facility to respond and attend to the said patient.
A patient dying on at the facility.
You haven't received that?
Yes, I haven't received that yet. We are basically out of, we are in hold on the performance review. But patients in the facility, there's a possibility that anything, can happen to a patient who comes to the facility. But I don't want to believe that it's because of the absence of a specialist on the facility that caused, the death of
So that was the public relations officer of the Ghana Mental Health Authority giving us an overview of what the situation is at the Ankomfo Psychiatric Hospital in an earlier interview with me on News 360 on TV3. But the Greater Accra Metropolitan Area, that's Gama Sanitation and Water Project being executed by the Water and Sanitation Ministry, is 50% complete. That's according to the coordinators of the project. The project, which has 2 more years before expiration, has constructed more than 2,000 household toilets in the 11 metropolitan and municipal assemblies in the Gama area. It's expected to construct toilet facilities for some 280 schools in the Gama area. These institutions' toilets at various levels of completion, as you see on your screens. Other components such as provision of water communities in the Gama area are also being handled by the Ghana Water Company. 900 new households have been connected to potable water. The $150 million World Bank funded project seeks to increase access to improve sanitation and water supply and open defecation, with an emphasis on low-income communities. We've been joined in studio by the project coordinator for the Gama Water and Sanitation Project, Engineer George Asiedu. Thank you for your time this evening. It's great to have you. Now, I look at these figures. Generally, you are on the project. What would be your assessment of the execution of this project so far?
So far, so good. I think we've come over our initial challenges, and so far we're making significant progress. And by the end of May, the school facilities should be completed and handed over for use for the school people. We are targeting about 165,000 people within the Greater Accra metropolitan area.
165,000 people to have access to decent toilet
in the schools.
In the schools. So the concentration is in the schools.
For now. But we also providing the household toilets. And our target is actually to reach out to 20,000. But that is for the entire project life. But between now and June, we are targeting about 6,000 toilets to be completed.
Between now and June?
And June.
I see.
And so far we've made about 3,000 out of it. So that represents the 50% of the target for between now and June.
See, I was just running a quick research and looking on the internet on this. But November 20, I recall, in 2013, we're told that 21.6 million people across the country lack access to toilet facilities. Fast forward 4 years on, the same November 2017, there's another report of Ghana being among 10 countries with most access to or lack of access to toilets. Okay, so in the end, we have a little over 23 million people across the country not having access to decent toilet facilities. The number increased from 21.6 million in 2013 to 23 million in 2017. How much of a difference is this making in the pool of people who do not have access to
that's basically the challenge we try to address. And the objective of the Gama project is to increase access to improved household toilets and to have access to improved water supply. And to have improved access means that we are moving from a figure which is not encouraging, just like you've rightly stated. And so we need to reduce the numbers from the 23,000 to virtually zero. And so what the Gama is doing within the Greater Accra area is to target about 250,000 people to have access to improved facilities. And this is what we are doing. And a household is estimated to consist of about 6 family members. And so far, we've made significant progress within the Greater Accra. What we're trying to do is that the challenge is much more compounded within the Greater Accra area. If you're able to find a solution, it will be easier to replicate elsewhere within the country.
What's been your diagnosis of the problem? Because the AMA, I do know, banned pan latrines. But just 2 days ago, there was a news item of some 6 pan latrines being identified in the Old Fadama area. So something is still wrong somewhere. What was your diagnosis of the problem as you were trying to solve?
You see, banning people from using pan latrine is one thing, and giving them an alternative is another.
Absolutely.
Now, even if you ban the pan latrine, what is the alternative? So people will resort to open defecation. So I will even be happier with the pan latrine than for people to have open defecation. Yes, we identify about 40 of them by the AMA, and the effort has been made to even convert the 40 into the improved facilities that we are offering. And it's about 6 of them that were identified per the reports. And we have actually approached all the beneficiaries to also change from the pan latrine to have the type of facilities that we are offering. And so the challenge is that there was no alternative, and even if there were alternative, affordability.
I was coming to that point. How affordable is this
It is
initiative?
very affordable now. The government has actually made it very affordable.
How affordable is it?
It used to be $1,000 per facility.
That's about 4,000.
That is about 4,500 thereabouts.
Ghana cedis.
Now it's 1,100 to the beneficiary.
1,100.
100 for the standalone. So if you
is it in Ghana cedis or in dollars?
1,100 Ghana cedis.
Ghana cedis.
Cedis. So from 4,500, you are now having it at 1,100 to own a full standalone facility that comprises of the superstructure, the WC, and the hand washing basin, and the digester. So what the government is doing is that you should be able to afford this. And even if you don't have it outright, we have facilities to allow you pay over a period.
So there is a payment plan, you say.
There is a payment plan.
Because the question of affordability is relatively subjective depending on the person's personal income status. Okay, so yes, I mean the intervention is commendable, from 4,500 cedis to 1,100 cedis, yes. But someone will still have a problem raising that 1,100. Yes. How do you deal with that person?
Yes, so now what we're doing is that all you need to do is to show interest, and then we'll register you. If you make a commitment, we'll build the facility for you, and you pay over a period of 6 to 12 months. That is if you want that option. We have a payment plan for you to pay over a period. We also have a Tigo platform where people can contribute on that platform. It's a mobile money platform.
I see.
So we'll give you the facility, and then you pay over a period of time. The idea is to avoid open defecation, and the facilities are available. Now we have even contracted large-scale contractors who will be able to deliver at a faster rate because the demand is increasing, and awareness has gone far. A lot more people are coming in for the facility.
Engineer, thank you for your time this evening. I'm grateful. Engineer George Esiru is the project coordinator of the Gamma Water and Sanitation Project. It's all live here on News at 10, also live on 3FM 92.7. We're streaming live on Facebook all across the world, on TV3 Ghana, also on 3news.com. Back shortly. Some more stories to stay. And now the Ghana Institute of Surveyors has urged government to expedite the passage of the Survey Council bill into law. The president of the institute, Edwin Duteria, noted the bill, when passed, will help regulate activities of survey practitioners and check corruption in the industry.
Since its establishment, the Ghana Institute of Surveyors has highlighted critical issues militating against the progress of the nation, whilst offering solutions to policymakers and government to address them. The association has also helped in shaping the professional development of surveyors. Currently, the Institute of Surveyors is operating under the professional body decree. The president of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors noted the passage of the Survey Council Bill and the Estate Brokerage Bill into law will provide a framework to regulate professional survey practice in the country.
We want government to come out of a council that will regulate the practice of our profession. That's why we are advocating for the Survey Council Bill and then the Estate Brokerage Bill. We've gone far. Now the bill is at cabinet. and government is looking at it from there to Parliament, and then if they pass it, then it means that anybody outside, if the council doesn't register you, you cannot practice. So that if you are a quack, you can be sanctioned.
Edwin Eduteria said the program stated by the government towards industrialization and wealth creation will need the input of surveys to materialize.
We have the Made in Ghana professionals here. Even if there's a foreign donor support, we are asking of our members, professionals, to be attached so that we make sure that Ghanaians can be used to support One Village, One Dam factory and all that.
The country representative for Japanese International Cooperation Agency, Mika Osawa, stated Japan's journey towards industrialization was based on 3 principles which saw the Asian country becoming the second largest economy in the world, behind USA in 1968.
Government's initiative and the company's effort on promoting Japanese products. Japanese education level was very high in terms of literacy, mathematics, and science. Infrastructure was fundamental of economic activities.
And now the country director and representative of Japanese International Cooperation Agency, Mika Osawa, has indicated the promotion of made-in-Japanese goods help that country to realize industrialization. She encouraged government in its attempt to industrialize Ghana.
After the war ended, our towns and cities were completely damaged. This resulted in critical shortage of supply and high inflation. In late 1950s, Japan was struggling to take off. One of the problems was the poor competitiveness of Japanese products. We imported more than we exported, and that caused trade deficit. And it made it difficult to save enough foreign currency in the country. We believe that those were similar challenges Ghana faces now. First factor was our government's initiative and the company's effort on promoting Japanese products. Japanese government launched a concept: don't import goods which we can make, import only goods that we cannot make. Besides, the government supported domestic companies in promising areas for export, like cars and the electric devices, by giving tax relief.
So that's a fundamental industrialization call there. So don't import goods that the people of Japan can make. The same, she's encouraging government to adopt that goods that can be produced by Ghanaians in Ghana should not be imported into the country. But Onua FM and 3FM have put smiles on the face of people. They've installed 27 street lights on the stretch of road in front of the Ghana Institute of Journalism. The 2 radio stations, also belonging to the Media General Group. Installation forms part of efforts to end frequent attacks at the hands of armed thieves who snatch phones and other personal valuables from pedestrians on the Ghana Institute of Journalism stretch of road. Here's a report by Frederick Clarence Williams.
The Let There Be Light campaign began on November 6, 2017. The campaign by Onua FM and 3FM was to push authorities to fix non-functional street lights on major streets across the country. The 2 radio stations used their morning shows to discuss non-functional street lights on highways, link and access roads, and how it has contributed to insecurity in those areas.
Yes, we know that it's a government responsibility, but we all would play a role. And so this will just not be the end of it. So for you watching us now, it means that we're coming back to you and you should be willing to assist. For me, that's the most important thing, that our brothers and sisters can walk around without fear.
And I just want to say my friend, and finally, honestly, many in fact, many say at least you'll see and the Media General, say ampa. We care about the people.
A total of 27 street lights were installed on the Abdul Gamel Nasser Road in partnership with Ghana Electrical Association on the stretch from Ghana Institute of Journalism to the police headquarters in Accra. The move, according to some students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, will end frequent attacks they suffer at the hands of armed robbers and thieves.
The very first time I used the road, it was very scary. You know, using a route with no lights makes you feel insecure. So we are grateful for TV3 for bringing us light.
They've been taking people's bags away from them in the night. I nearly fell one day. I stumbled and I nearly fell because of the dark.
Some of the guys, we get robbed by armed robbers with our phones. So we have been complaining to the SRC and we heard the campaign on TV3, on UFM and 3FM. We are excited about it, and right now we are happy with what has happened.
The stations are seeking to raise at least 1,000 bulbs as part of the campaign to fix lights at various parts of the country to improve street lighting.
As it, one street light, one pole. Let there be light. That's what we've been doing all the while. I want to say thank you to every one of you who contributed to this particular call that we made on Onua FM and 3FM, all part of the media general group of TV3, 3news.com, Connect FM, and also Akuma FM, all being part of this rather very big family. But we thank you so much, and we are contributing to the development of this country in our own small way. If we have to wait for government for some of these things, we probably will be waiting for quite a while. But let's complement the efforts of government towards development. And so if you're out there, we still are on the campaign. We'll continue to plead with you to come and support us to put out the light in those dark places that create the avenue for these armed robbery attacks to take place. And it's going on the Let There Be Light campaign. You can walk into the premises of TV3 and make your donation. But a fellow at Imani, Franklin Asari, has recommended that digital entrepreneurship be introduced and made mandatory in the country's educational curricula. This, he says, is one of the many strategies that could be adopted to enable Ghana achieve its goal of becoming a fully digitized country.
The introduction of the Ghana Post GPS, the paperless system at the port, and the DVLA are all indications of government's willingness to build a digitized economy. At a public lecture in Accra on Thursday, a fellow of Imani, Franklin Asari, commended government for these initiatives, but said Ghana is still lagging behind and needed to do a lot more in fully achieving digital status. Applying technology to improve the agri sector, as well as a unified electronic payment system for assemblies to collect taxes, are part of the many recommendations for the government.
Ultimately, governments must make it their business to ensure that there are measures in place to adequately protect their citizens. Cyber security is on everybody's mind today. The world currently deals with 2.5 billion cybersecurity threats per second. Ghana must pursue an agenda that democratizes internet access.
Though the United Nations has declared internet access as a basic human right, as of 2016, only 34% of Ghanaians had access to the internet. He explains this figure alone should be motivation enough for the government to put in the necessary measures to go fully digital. The lecture was on the theme, The Present and Next Revolution, How Digitization is Redefining Everything. The lecture also looked at other areas like the scope of digitization, emerging trends and themes of the digital economy, as well as threats and opportunities of digitization.
Well, that's it for News at 10. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also live on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, on 3news.com, live from our studios here at Desawa here on TV3. I want to say thank you, and on behalf of the rest of the team, wish you a good night. My name is Alfred Akansi.